The gaming world is weird, and every month at gameranx we try to sort through all the strangeness to make some sense of everything. Hi folks, it's Falcon. Today on gameranx, the weirdest gaming stories of February 2019. Number 10, we've actually talked about this elsewhere, but an interesting thing happened in Elite Dangerous. You see, if you go beyond the borders of the actual regular game area, you enter the Void. And there are people who arrange expeditions out into the Void to sort of set records to see how far people can get. A particular pilot by the name of Diluvian Ray's Cruz decided, I'm gonna set the record. So he set out to do just that. He did go out quite far, might I add. That's definitely something he accomplished. 42 days into the journey, he stranded himself. Which is funny, when you're reaching the number that is the answer to life, the universe, and everything, you would think like maybe something significant might have something to do with that number. I realize that's just being a little bit science fiction superstitious, but still, he didn't have enough fuel to make the jump back at day 42 and had been floating out in the void since November of last year. There's a group called the Fuel Rats in the game who actually goes around and saves people in these types of situations, who mounted a 600-hour rescue mission. And just to be very clear, this isn't the first one they've done. People set that record oftentimes without having fuel to get back. And then the Fuel Rats, a player-run group of tankers and mechanics, go out and save them. That's exactly what happened here to Diluvian Ray's Cruz. Although this is actually very cool that people organize to do stuff like that in the in-game world. Sure, it's definitely weird, but it's the kind of weird where you're like, there is some good in humanity. Number 9, this amazing Buster Arm from Devil May Cry 5 took a user called Lay Legacy Crafting, who makes some great stuff on Etsy that you can pick up for yourself. You'll want to look into his stuff, but this in particular is amazing. He spent 3 weeks 3D modeling, printing, and painting this thing himself. He did, of course, all of the base painting, the LED work, and all of that, and a cosplayer he works with by the name of Kokaz did the weathering, which by the way looks phenomenal. Came together to create this thing that they definitely didn't have a copy of the game to investigate closely, and yet I'm gonna go ahead and say it's so incredibly close to what you see in videos of the game. And Hideaki Itsuno, who has directed the Devil May Cry mainline series including DMC, retweeted it out to his followers, presumably because it's amazing. I mean, it's not often you see something that detailed and amazing get put out before the game. Well done. Seriously, well done. Number 8, somebody fully hacked the PS Vita, and they've been working on it for 6 years. Now, I'm not going to get into the complete and total nitty-gritty of it. First, I'm just going to say the big thing was hardware keys, and hardware keys are basically a key to the cryptography of the PS Vita that exists as hardware, as opposed to as software. Meaning you have to have a piece of hardware in order for it to do its decrypting. Or do you? You don't. A hacker by the name of Yafan Liu has figured out how to get around that, and now the cool thing we all need to think about. You can now completely decrypt any code, any software, any game, period. At least if it works on a PS Vita. And here's the reason that matters a lot. If somebody wants to emulate a PS Vita, they don't need a PS Vita anymore, which is kind of a big deal as far as emulating something. Number 7, there are not a lot of people playing Titanfall 1 anymore, and on PC there's anywhere from 9 to 30 Titanfall players on at any given time at time of this recording. And apparently there is a single hacker who is griefing those players, or at least was during the month of February, by running a script that keeps kicking them back to their desktop, not allowing them to finish a game. It looks like there's actually quite a few people doing this. It's a proxy script, and the game is telling the players there are too many proxies. But according to an anti-cheat community site, there are people just changing their names to make the issue seem prevalent. In the case of Titanfall, it was a guy, at least during February, messing up games, which is a dick move. And there's not a lot of people playing the game, just let them play, man. Number 6, Alfonso Ribeiro tried to claim that he had a copyright on the Carlton dance from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which he played Carlton on. And while I do kind of feel like he deserves some kind of compensation for Fortnite using a dance that was very clearly just him, like if you look at the motions, it is basically traced off of him exactly. But that being said, I think that he should be paid for his labor, both in creating and popularizing a dance, and I don't think that a person really should be able to own a dance. Frankly, the whole situation was very weird though. Like, I don't want to pretend even for a minute that Fortnite didn't just directly lift that from him. They did. It's obvious. Number 5, somebody posted onto Reddit a photo of their grandmother playing Wii Fit. Now, it wasn't just a picture of her playing Wii Fit, like, oh, hey, look, there's an older person playing a game that is not new. But here's the funniest thing about that. She's played it every single day for over 10 years. The picture is of her in front of the screen with the "This is your blank day," and it's 3,949 days, which is actually nearly 11 years. It's not quite 11 years, but yeah, that's a very long time to play Wii Fit. And, you know, nothing against that. I'm not trying to call her weird for doing it, because she's not. It's just weird to think that Wii Fit, of all things, attracted somebody that enthusiastic about Wii Fit. I mean, I enjoy Wii Fit, I just don't do it ever. Like, it doesn't hook me, at least decade type hook. Number 4, this retailer in Germany called Saturn is trying so hard to get rid of their Fallout 76 stock. Like, they're finding excuses to give it away, and there's no other way to put it. They're just looking for excuses. Like, they're selling hard drives, like PS4 hard drives, 2 terabyte PS4 hard drives, with a copy of Fallout 76 literally just strapped to it. Oh, did you know they're also doing it with Fallout 76 bundles of the Xbox One X? Yes, if you buy the Xbox One X with a copy of Fallout 76, it includes a copy of Fallout 76. They're so desperate to get rid of the copies of this game, they're just literally like giving it away to people who are buying a copy of the game. They're like, take a second one, man. We don't need this. Which, might I add, is just lovely. It's amazing. I mean, it hasn't exactly been well received here in North America, but I mean, it's pretty bad in Germany. Those copies are not going anywhere if they're attaching them to the Xbox One X's that have a copy of the game in the Xbox One Xbox. Number 3, the physical copy of Metro Exodus has a sticker covering up the Steam logo with an Epic logo. You know, because of the Epic Store being a thing that publishers want to use more because they get more money for using it. Now, we can debate whether that's good or bad all we want. I think it was inevitable rather than good or bad, but it's stunning to see just how much of a storm it has caused. All of these things would have been printed at a time when Steam was going to still be the distribution platform of choice. So sometime during the printing process or shortly thereafter, someone was like, actually, that Epic Games deal is a lot better for us. But hey, if you've got a physical copy of Metro Exodus, the collector's edition of Metro Exodus, check out that sticker. Number 2, the developer of a game called Rise to Ruins, specifically a man named Raymond Doer of 60 Gig Games, is shutting down his Patreon because his success as the dev of Rise to Ruins, a city-building strategy video game that started in early access as Retro Pixel Castles and has been in development since 2014. The success has been so much, he is literally giving back 2 times as much as anybody has given him on Patreon. Now, keeping in mind, this game wasn't really a success until the last year or so. That's pretty awesome. He said that Rise to Ruins easily sustains his livelihood now and also helps keep open a nice rainy day account to keep 60 Gigs games open and running even in hard times. I have to say, that's probably more or less the dream of every indie dev, and that's good stuff. I'm gonna have to play this game. I haven't played it, but in looking at it, I think it looks pretty cool, and the dev is an awesome person. So I think it deserves at least a little bit of support. It's only $10, so I'm definitely giving it a shot, and I have to ask you to do the same. If we saw more people who were as generous and caring as this in the industry, I don't think we'd be really complaining about nearly as much. And finally, number 1, the Devotion devs had to apologize to a lot of angry Chinese gamers who called the Chinese president Xi Jinping, I may be mispronouncing that and I apologize if so, a cultist Winnie the Pooh moron, which I think is worse than mispronouncing his name. Now, this got a lot of negative attention for them on the Steam store. The game had been reviewed positively, which, by the way, I just have to go ahead and say, like, very rightly so. This is a great game with an amazing art style. It is absolutely beautiful. I can't stress that you should check this one out enough. It's a game where color and horror sort of blend together in this weirdly beautiful, picturesque style, and somehow it also managed to get some goofy-ass concept art calling Xi Jinping a Winnie the Pooh moron cultist. Which, by the way, Winnie the Pooh is banned in China because people made memes that compared him, Xi Jinping that is, to Winnie the Pooh, and the Devotion developers had to apologize. Note that it wasn't intentional, it was just concept art that an artist left in, and they had to put the game through a quote-unquote quality check before they put it back onto Steam. So what weird stuff did you see in the gaming world this month? Leave us a comment, let us know what you're thinking, and if you like this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time, right here on gameranx.